Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We're doing this a little bit late in the week, but I think that's okay, right? Wednesday and Thursday is usually my recording days, but um, just wanted to take a few extra days and really think about the subject matter that I wanted to go over today. And here we are. But anyways, welcome to the ScuttleButt Podcast. It's me, Amanda Buckner, CEO of Untamed Fitness and Martial Arts, where we focus on holistic personal training and not just the fitness aspect of working out, right? Um, so anyways, let's get into what I want to talk about today. It's come to my attention that um there's a saying that usually the more you try to control something, the more out of control you end up being, right? And it's interesting because the more you try to do one thing, like the more you're trying to like rigidly, go, let's say, save money, right? The more you try to save money, it ends up the more expenses you have, or all of a sudden your car breaks down, or you get hurt, or XYZ, right? The more you really try to struggle and be successful, it seems the more things that are in your way. And I was thinking about this with in relation to my kids and with martial arts training and me being a fighter. I was joking with somebody the other day. I was talking to this lady that focuses mostly on like trauma resolution and stuff like that. And I was joking with her that I was like, man, like if my kids grow up and they do not want to fight for a living, I will feel like a successful mom, because they won't have to feel like they have to deal with their past traumas by fighting. And it's so interesting because it's like this strange dichotomy relationship of I love fighting, I love martial arts, I love what I do, I love being able to teach people all the things of how to control themselves and how to deal with the emotions of life. And um, fighting has taught me so much that I do not have enough time to talk about it in a podcast. But there's also the other side that is like, obviously, I want my kids to understand and love martial arts like I do, but I do not want them to have come from a place where I came from in order to find it. And that's the thing, is like, if I didn't have these past experiences that made me struggle and kind of like shaped me in a way that made fighting uh, a viable option to kind of like, face my own demons, then I probably wouldn't be interested in fighting, right? If I didn't have a certain type of upbringing, or, certain types of like self-confidence issues when I was growing up, then I never would have arrived to the point of becoming a martial artist and becoming like a Muay Thai fighter, and being able to like qualify for like world and like national championships, right? So it's kind of like this strange thing of I love it, but I also want my kids to come at it at a different perspective. I know that I've heard of some fighters that they've literally just done martial arts their entire life, so they come at it from like more of an educational, like I've done this and I just love it type of experience, right? And then there's other people that use it because they like to hurt people, which I think is, you know, not so is a little bit rarer to see nowadays, just because you can't be successful as a fighter with just rage in your corner, right? Like, well, I can drop anyone because I'm angry. Like, well, like angry fighters actually are clouded in their judgment and therefore will probably be the easiest ones to get over, right? Um, but yeah, like fighting is it's a very like precise, calculated sport. Like people like Sanchai and Bakao, like these very famous Muay Thai fighters. Um, they do a lot of their like flashy fighting and very like well disciplined fighting through martial arts and they're able to control themselves and think through really hard problems, they don't get emotional. Once you get emotional, like, I don't know if you ever seen a fight where someone's got emotional. The one thing that I can think of that's a really good example of this is when Habib Nurmagomedov, early on in his fight career, he fought, oh man, what's this guy's name? Oh no, it's escaped me. I can't remember his name, but he fought this guy and literally he set the record of most amount of takedowns in a single UFC fight in like ever. And it got to the point where this guy kept getting like a double leg takedown and he kept getting taken down and then he would get back up and then he would get taken down again and then he would get back up and he could take it down again and you could see it. You could see this guy's hope leaving like his body. And there was one point where he got taken down and he just looks at the ref and he's just like, Trujillo. That's the guy's name, Trujillo. So Nurmagomedov versus Trujillo. I don't even remember what year this was, but look it up. It's educational in the purpose that like you can see that once you get emotional, the fight completely changes. Like if you go in and you have an angry opponent, anger only lasts about 30 seconds to a minute. And most fights, like Muay Thai fights, are 2 minutes, three rounds. So you have a 6-minute fight. MMA fights are 3-minute rounds. And, you know, as you go up in notoriety and then also experience level, the rounds get longer. So like, you know, your rage may be able to get you into a fight, but it's definitely not going to make you last or make you a winner at the end of the day. And people that are able to conquer their fear or conquer their emotions, be able to level-headedly go back and, you know, like win the fight at the end of the day. Like those are the people that really are like champions of themselves, even if they don't win the fight necessarily. Oh man, what's that guy's name? I was trying to think of, there's a UFC fighter who just fought against Kamaru Usman. And he ended up knocking the guy out. I don't know why I can't remember the name right now. You guys probably remember. Write down in the comments what the guy's name is. But yeah, he just fought Kamaru Usman. He knocked him out. And the whole fight, if you guys watched it, it was amazing. The whole fight, Usman was like I don't want to say killing this dude, but like he was very much in control. He was very calm. He was a champion. He's like defended his title for a few fights, and he was just very calm, keeping his head in the game, right? And it was like the last round, and the other guy who's fighting against Usman, which I can't think of his name for some reason, his coach was like, this is the time. You have to go. This is it. Like, if you want this is it. Right. And so, you know, kind of like angry, motivational speaker type thing. Right. And so, he was able to line up the fight. Right. And maybe like, you know, 45 seconds into the last round, he sets up this gnarly head kick that knocks Usman out cold and he gets the belt. It was like, oh man, what? How did this happen? Like, if you looked at it, it was like you're watching these rounds. This dude is just like nice and composed. Like you could see he was kind of getting frustrated at some points, but like this whole time he was just setting up this one type of kick where he faded one way. He, you know, went to throw a hook. He guarded low and then, you know, was able to get over the top and kick him in the head and win a belt, which was really neat. But emotions in fighting are not necessarily, you know, the superpower that we like to imagine them to be. And they're also not like the nail in the coffin that some people like to pretend they are, right? I remember growing up that you used to never want to show emotion ever, right? Like rage was an acceptable emotion because it was powerful, right? And then, you know, as I grow up and get older and get wiser, I realized that like emotional intelligence is actually the thing that my parents were trying to tell me without, so many words, right? I compare it to like my kids that get super frustrated and they're just like, I can't think of the word because I don't know what the word is yet, but I'm feeling this thing. And oh, okay, let me help you. Oh, you are feeling frustrated because your, play date with so and so is canceled. Okay, that's understandable. Let's figure out how to resolve this, right? But yeah, emotional intelligence is like, I want to say it's like one of the most sought after things that we don't even know that we need. And once you realize like, oh, this is a thing that's missing, your whole life's going to change. I recently just bought these cards one of my clients told me about. Man, what are they called? Anyways, man, I'm having a hard time with names of things. But anyways, there's these feeling cards, and it just lists out all of these different emotions that you can have. So there's like frustration, there's anger, there's resentment, there's kind of like limited or like lesser felt emotions such as like disappointment, loneliness, excitement. Like they're both negative and positive emotions, right? And the idea of these cards, they're called mixed emotion cards. The idea of these cards is if you wake up and you're just like grumpy, right? You're just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling something. I don't like it. Like you already feel like you just have way too much caffeine. You ever have that feeling? And you can't put your finger on it. There's something off, but you're just like, I don't know what it is, right? These cards are designed to help you recognize your emotion and then also be able to like come to terms with it so you can like resolve whatever it is that you're feeling. So you go through all these cards. You can either say, yes, I feel this, or no, I don't feel this. All right. Resentful. No, I'm not resentful. Angry. Yeah, I'm angry for something. I don't know why. Happy. Yeah. You know what? Other than being resentful or like happy, like you go through all these different cards. I'm excited. I'm hopeful for the future. I am feeling kind of lonely. I'm not depressed. I'm, XYZ. You go through all of these cards. There's like maybe 100 cards. And then after that, you go to your yes pile. You pull out all your yes pile cards, which is hopefully anywhere between, like 3 to 10, right? You don't want to have too much. And you sit with each single card. Like, okay, this card says, I said yes to happy. Okay, why am I happy? Oh, okay. Well, I did just, I don't know, like get a new car or something. So that makes me kind of happy. Okay, cool. I know why I'm happy. Put that card down. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Why am I feeling, I forgot the other card why am I feeling resentful? Why am I feeling resentful? Oh, well, I didn't get the apartment that I was looking for. So that's really kind of sitting with me. But you know what? I think it's probably a good thing because at least, I'm getting over it. And there's this other apartment that just came available. Yeah, you know what? Okay. I feel better about this. I'm not feeling resentful anymore. Like the idea of these cards is to go into your brain. Don't compartmentalize it, anything. Like open up all the drawers in your head and figure out why is it you're feeling the way that you're feeling, resolve those feelings, and then carry on with your life. There's so many health research projects that have shown how like buried feelings end up they don't just get buried and they're dead and you never have to look at them again, right? Like they always come back in some way, shape, or form in your health, whether it's depression, whether it's not being motivated, I'm really scared of failure, so I just don't want to try anything, so therefore I'm not going to do anything, right? That type of like not dealing with your feelings and not dealing with like what's actually happening in your head. Just because you don't want to feel sad doesn't mean that you don't feel sad. Like it's actually, again, the dichotomy. Like I don't want to feel sad, but I have to feel sad to get over it, to resolve it so I can get past it. There's a saying that I keep, like, I repeat to myself over and over and over and over and over again, that the only way through it is through it. And I know that sucks, but this is literally why I fight. And it's that idea of, yeah, like this current moment may suck. You may have gotten fired from a job, or you got a bad review on a paper that you worked super hard on. Maybe you're trying to pick up a new skill and it's just not clicking yet, right? Like having this feeling, having this uncomfortable feeling of, ugh, this sucks. You have to sit with it and you have to feel it in order for it to go away. The huge region, or the big reason why, using coping mechanisms such as like drinking and smoking weed and drugs and all of that fun stuff is, it's a really easy way out of like, oh, I don't want to think about this right now. I'm just gonna have a drink. I'm gonna do something else, right? I'm gonna play a video game. I'm gonna do anything to get my mind off of the thing that's paining me, right? It doesn't mean that that pain goes away. And yes, coping mechanisms are awesome if they're used in the right way. I've so many times, like I can't even count how many times I have used going to fighting class or doing a workout, going for a walk as a way to cope and just be like, you know what? I can't do this right now. I need to get out of here. I need to change my environment. I need to change my scenery. My kids are driving me crazy. I feel like a failure, like whatever it is, that's bugging you. You don't have to sit there and like force yourself through it, right? Give yourself time. You just got to literally make space for yourself to feel that emotion. Maybe when you're a little bit like less in those high intense emotions, right? So you're not gonna like go for a walk, go do a workout, call a friend, talk about something, right? Even watch a movie, right? Like play a video game. Those are fine as long as they're healthy ways to cope. Just do one of those things. Sometimes I'll like set a time limit of like, all right, I need to give myself, like, I'm feeling so overwhelmed. I need to give myself 2 hours. Or, you know what? I'm going to go book a haircut and I'm going to like do some type of self-care that I can take care of myself. And I don't want to think about this thing. I'm going to shelf it, but I'm going to come back to it later. After, I finish my movie, or, however many hours I want to sit and play a video game after my haircut, whatever it is, I have to come back to that feeling, right? I breathe. I take a pen and paper. Like journaling is amazing. I don't know if you guys out there journal, but it's the easiest and best way to just get everything out on, just lay it all out there. If you're just talking about it, let's say you're talking to a friend, you are saying your thoughts and your interpretation of an event to somebody else who is also going to interpret it through their own screen of judgment, right? No matter how good of a friend they are, they have to see it through a certain lens, which is their own lens of their past experiences and all that fun stuff, right? So even though if it's a really good friend, they might not hear you in the space that you need to be heard. So journal. You can always video it and then repeat it back to yourself. You can play it back to yourself. I've done that so many times where I'm like, hey, I'm having a thing. Amanda, just listen to me. We're going to figure this out together. Does this make sense? Okay, now go away and we're going to talk about, maybe listen to this tomorrow. And then I listen to it the next day and I'm like, none of that made sense. Why was I feeling like that? But like, there's been so many times where like I'll go to journal and I'm like, I don't really know what to say. Today was an okay day. I was feeling kind of sad. And then, all of a sudden I'm writing about like I miss my parents, or like I feel like I, am not going to ever amount to anything, blah, 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 whatever. Like you don't even realize that it's happening until your hand kind of like scrolls over the paper like that, right? But yeah, journaling's great. Like I said, like everything that I've said has been like a healthy way to cope. Drinking, drugs, Yeah, that's pretty much like drinking drugs, like I was gonna say high risk activities, like such as fighting, is probably not the easiest and best decision for dealing with your own internal stressors. However, those things are fine if you're doing them for the right reasons, right? If you're drinking to be social, like you have a drink to go out on a date with somebody, cool. It's not completely entirely negative, right? If you're going into a fight because you're I don't want to say well adjusted, but like you're going into a fight because you want to challenge yourself. You want to see, all right, let me see if all of these new tricks that I learned actually work out. Go into that fight, right? But don't do these things, like don't have a drink because you don't want to feel anything anymore. Don't go into a fight because you feel like this is the only way that you're ever going to feel things. Very famous fighter, Tony Ferguson, very like sadly said at one point that he fights just because it's the most real feeling that he'll ever have. And it's the only time that he feels things. Not all fighters are like that. And it makes me sad to think that like some people are so mentally not self-aware of themselves and like are unable to kind of like help themselves get through that struggle, that they just do these high risk activities and drinking and smoking or whatever to cope through it. And like I said, it doesn't make the pain go away entirely. It just makes you not think of it right now. And then you wake up the next morning and the pain's still there. And now you're also depressed and you have a hangover. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to talk about today is different types of coping. And I really just wanted to use the word dichotomy. I feel like I said it twice, now 3 times. This is great. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on any of this. And I hope this was helpful. Fridays, I kind of want to keep it nice and lax. So let me know your thoughts. Join us next week. We're going to be talking about some super cool stuff. Hopefully I have a guest on. We'll see if her schedule allows for it, but it's going to be super awesome. All right. You guys have a great weekend and I will see you next week. Bye.